He called the housing crash. He called the collapse of Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers. He's been harping on the crisis in the Eurozone banking system for years now.
Ooh, it's Reggie Middleton.
Greetings, this is Reggie Middleton, commenting on real estate. Bloomberg has a story out today. Manhattan real estate sales have slumped 20%. Now, this is not a surprise to anybody who's been following me on the Veritasium blog. I've been warning about New York real estate prices, New York real estate condos, not just Manhattan, but Brooklyn, which is totally out of control, absolutely out of control. Supply flooding the market, allegedly because demand is greater than supply. Demand is great, but it's concentrated in a relatively small sliver. That demand has already reached and has surpassed the equilibrium point, with the bounce pushing over the supply, happening very quickly. Not just Brooklyn, but Queens as well, throughout Manhattan. A 20% slide in sales means a concomitant slide in prices as well. There's a tail. We all know what's coming. We saw this 9 years ago. I made it very clear in 2007, the housing crash. That's where I made my money through 2000 to 2006, basically selling real estate in a bubble. Before the bubble, there was a fundamental reason: gentrification, low interest rates. Of course, people took it too far. It's happening once again. There's a real estate report out in the Veritasium knowledge section for subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, come become one. I'm giving flat rate prices. We've decided to do away with the a la carte pricing. Too complicated. So flat rate, okay? Retail subscribers, professional traders, and institutions. Allows you to pick my brain. You can read what I write. For the higher level subscriptions, you can actually ask me and the analyst questions. Now, moving on. What is the largest loan category of most banks, whether it be European, Asian, or U.S.? Mortgages. They lend against real estate, both commercial and residential. 20% slide in sales will represent a concomitant slide in pricing, which will represent increase in LTVs, which will represent additional stress to already stressed balance sheets. Remember, these banks that say that they are reducing balance sheet size or reducing capital risk exposure are truly writing CDS and total return swaps over their bad assets. It's very hard to sell these things because everybody knows that they're really not worth much. So they're writing swaps, and then the bank or entity that they wrote the swaps with or bought the swaps from are writing swaps to lay off their exposure. So we have this device, which joins in a swap with this device, which joins in a swap with that device to hedge the swap they have with this device, and that device does a swap with this device to hedge the swap they did with this device, which was hedged with a swap with this device, which was hedged with a swap with this device. This device goes bust. Let's say this Deutsche Bank, boom, 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 boom. The domino effect is simple as a third grader can understand. And we're going through this exactly the way we did before, except for one major difference. This is a true liquidity trap now. You can't reduce rates much more. You can't going to a brand new QE buying binge, because they've been doing that all along. Banks are now better capitalized because the macro edge is up against the corner. So they have to be. The banks cannot earn their way out of this. Net interest margins are slim, and if anything, they'll get slimmer because rates will have to ease down ever so slightly more. How are banks going to earn their way out? They can't. Banks don't have strong balance sheets. They have more capital, but the loans that they have are going to go bad again, and they haven't finished getting rid of the bad loans from the last time around. This is going to be a problem. Of course, Deutsche Bank doesn't have any issues, but we're going to split this video in half. The next video I'm going to produce is going to be a quick explanation of the problems that Deutsche Bank has everybody says they don't have.